problem with one of my guests today, and I try to be polite to whomever is on the show. This is a man named Louie C.K., and he stars in a new HBO sitcom called Lucky Louie. Okay, over the weekend I watched 2 of his shows. You watched it, and you watched parts of it. I have a sense of humor. I'm probably going to make the show much more popular by saying this. I found them unbelievably vulgar.
They're pretty raunchy.
And racist. I'm used to the F word. That doesn't bother me. I think I have a sense of humor. But, I mean, it's got him for endlessly having intercourse with his wife while she's so bored. It shows the neighbors moaning. There's a vibrator that's shaking.
Yes.
There's also racist things.
It goes there.
And I just thought, I'm sure he's a lovely man. In a few minutes I have to face him. But
no, but it makes you wonder. And, you know, the thing is...
Is there no boundary?
I guess not on HBO. I always joke about it, calling it hilarious but offensive, because that's what I think it is. As you heard earlier, the new sitcom Lucky Louie is definitely a hot topic, causing a firestorm of controversy that has some critics calling the show sexist and racist. And it's definitely a show that's not above going below the belt. Take a look.
Kim, we can't afford another baby.
But we always said we'd have 2 kids. We agreed when we had Lucy that we wouldn't make her be alone.
Yeah, but not now. Do you know how much we have in checking right now? Negative $50. We have to raise $50 to be broke.
I don't care. I'm not waiting. Lucy is 4 already. I'm getting pregnant right now.
Well, you ain't getting pregnant without my sperm.
That is not your sperm. That is our sperm. That's my sperm. Give it back.
Please welcome the creator and star of Lucky Louie, Louis C.K. That was a funny thing. How are you doing? Welcome. You're in the hot seat now, Louis.
Good move, Louie. Very smart. Very smart.
Your show is popular now. I have just made it so popular by telling everybody all these raunchy scenes, right?
Well,
you can thank her by having her as a guest on the upcoming episode, maybe.
No, listen, I'm really glad that you said this stuff because I think a lot of people, you know, are confused by the show and offended by it. So it's, you know, it's good to be able to. I'm a little nervous and scared, but I'm glad to be able to talk to you about it.
You've actually said it's like honeymooners, sort of, right?
Yeah, the show is not, I mean, I don't want people to think that we're trying to make fun of folks and we're being dirty just for the sake of it. We're just trying to be as honest as possible. And we picked HBO so that people would know when they go there that it's a place where, you know, but at the same time, I know that HBO, once you buy it, it's just part of the flipping. So, you know, but all we're trying to do is be funny and unique and relatable.
But let me ask you this, Lou.
It's very grown up.
It can get very raunchy. What about the 7-year-old
grown
girl?
Up doesn't bother me. It's well, never mind. You and I we'll have lunch.
No, and I think it's a good thing because
no, it really is.
Barbara, I felt the same way watching it. But my concern was that there's a 7-year-old girl who plays your daughter on the show. Does she hear all the stuff that goes on? Because I know she's not in a lot of the scenes where that talk goes on.
Well, no, we actually shoot carefully so that she's not on the set when that stuff gets said.
You put big earmuffs on her or something?
Yeah, and she's in the show with us. But we are, grown-ups live in the same house as children. So, and grown-ups curse and grown-ups get mad at each other.
Listen, I read Natalie Wood's biography, okay? They used to let that kid go in water. She was petrified of water. She used to do scenes in water. To me, that's much more dangerous for a child actor than hearing a few words, okay?
You know what,
I remember this one scene where it's your character, the daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
And the African-American couple that's across the hall gives her a doll. Her other friends gave her a doll, and the African-American couple gives her a black doll.
That's right.
And she has to do a scene, and she does it very effectively, where she cries and says, "I don't want the black Barbie."
Right.
Is there conversation with this young actress about what the ramifications of that are? Because I know that those are the things that moms, Elizabeth and I were just talking about.
Sure. Well, I think that, like, for that scene, first somebody gives her a white Barbie, and my wife is upset because she doesn't like Barbies because of what they represent for women.
They said a little mini stripper. I thought it was a great line.
It was. It was funny.
And then she gets a black Barbie, and some kids just say stuff that you don't know why they're going to like something.
Exactly, but it was real. It was a real reaction. It wasn't a bad reaction as a kid.
For the kid to say, "I don't like the black Barbie," and then we all feel horrible.
Because you're embarrassed because this couple is there.
Exactly. So I think we let the kid absorb that the way the kid would in the real story, which is you don't like this Barbie and you just, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think at this age the kid's 6 years old and we don't need to I don't want her to be race conscious or anything conscious. It's not up to me, though. I think it's up to her parents.
Speaking of
I hope the 6-year-old doesn't see the red vibrating moving when she's on the phone.
Yeah.
No,
just keep her locked up somewhere else.
I just thought I'd throw that in.
Into the real world.
No, and as far as the race material on the show, the pilot sets up a situation which is real from my life, which is that we are raising my daughter in upstate New York. And there are zero anything but white people up there where we are. And so an African...
Welcome to my world.
and a guy came to fix the refrigerator, and he was African American, and and my daughter bonded with him. And he said...
This is in the show.
This is true, and it really happened.
True life.
And my daughter said refrigerator, because she had just learned the word, and he said, yes, refrigerator. And they said refrigerator to each other all day. And then I took her to New York City, and the first black guy that she saw, she said refrigerator. And so right away I thought, my daughter doesn't have enough varied experience.
That's cute.
Well, it was true, and so this is the thing. In order for our next generation to mix and not think of each other in terms of race, adults have to have these awkward, hi, please be my friend because you're black things. It's just awkward, but it's... But it's
Just
something
tell
we're
her
really
when
dealing
she
with.
sees a chubby auntie star, don't say refrigerator. You know,
She also likes to play.
You do say to them, you know, I have no black friends, so please be my friend just because you're black.
I do, and that's the way, I guess, that's the way. I mean, that's not true in my life. You know, a friend of mine, Chris Rock is a friend of mine, and he lives in a nice neighborhood, and he's got a daughter, and he has trouble finding black friends for her and for his black daughter because he's in an area that's so it's something that we're all dealing with.
we take care of that.
You do take those situations and make them real. Doesn't your daughter, you have your 4-year-old, and doesn't she like to play hide and seek and you hate it?
Oh yeah, well, she loves playing hide and seek, and I guess I find it annoying because she's awful at it. Like, when we play hide and seek, she tells me where to hide. She picks my hiding place, which is just patently unfair. She's like, hide in the closet. And I'm like, but then, hide in the closet! You know, so I got to go in the closet.
How does your family feel about exposing them like this? I mean, we all
My
do
wife loves the show, and my daughters don't watch the show.
Most of the show is based on your relationship with...
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the 4-year-old you love and found interesting. The 1-year-old you think is, what, a lump?
Well, the 1-year-old, I don't know nothing about her because she hasn't said anything yet. So there's nothing to really say.
Are you concerned with how big you are as a dad?
Oh,
Because the Father's Day we just finished with now.
Yes, well, I think I'm a pretty awful dad. And I think most fathers feel that way, that you're constantly... One time I was eating chocolates I wasn't supposed to be eating, and my daughter said, what are those? And I said, they're black tomatoes. Because I didn't want her to think I was eating... So now she thinks there's something called black tomatoes. Isn't that awful? It's awful.
I think that's great. And you know that 1-year-old, if she's anything like you, she's going to have a ton to say. Because you are very funny. And the show is very interesting. So you can watch it or not. It's up to you. Thanks to Louis C.K.
When Lucky Louie was coming out and I was promoting it, I asked to do The View. And then I showed up, and the other guest was Fonzie, Henry Winkler. And, I mean, for me, it was just being there. I was like Barbara Walters. I grew up, and she was like Barbara Wawa, and she was, the center of so much going on, and Arafat and all this stuff, And then Fonzie. I mean, Jesus Christ. I was in, like 4th grade, 3rd grade when Fonzie was just the fucking king of the world to me. So here he is, weird, not at all Fonzie. Hi. It's not Fonzie. Oh, hi. Oh, that's nice. It's not how Fonzie talks. And, but he's a great guy, and he knows Pamela Adlon, who played my wife on Lucky Louie, so he actually came over to my dressing room to say, oh, I love Pamela, and I love the show. It's dear. Your show is dear. That's what he said. It's so dear. And I was, so that was great. And then I'm all of a sudden the producer comes in my room and says, I have to talk to you. They're about to go on the air. You need to see this. And her hand was shaking on this remote. She turned on the TV on this is it's on live. And there's Barbara Walters saying, our first topic is about one of our guests who has a show called Lucky Louie. And this is the most offensive, racist, sexist, terrible show I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe this is on the air. I hate it. And they all started going to town on it. There's pictures of me and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I got to go out there. Yeah. And so she said, so we still want to try to do your funny stories. I'm like, no, I can't do the funny stories. You're fucking killing me out there. And I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I think I called Chris Rock. who's like an advisor to me, and I told him
backstage.
I was backstage, and I called Chris Rock and said,
"This was the best show ever, by the way."
Yeah, it was great. And I said, I don't know what to do. These women just shit all over me, and I'm about to go out there. And he said, forget the women. You've got people who are watching at home. Just rise above it and talk to the audience. Fuck Barbara Walters. She doesn't matter. You're going to be on television right now. Nobody's even going to notice what show it is. They're just going to see you. And that was a wake me up. I went out there and I thought, I'm not talking to Barbara Walters. Her audience is more important than she is to me. And I love those ladies. And I know they'll like me. And also they showed a clip, right before they brought me out, they showed a clip from the show of me and my wife arguing about money in bed, which is, to me, what marriage is. Arguing about money instead of fucking. And the clip really worked. And the audience laughed, and I thought, fuck her. I don't need her. And I went out there, and she made a big deal out of... Barbara Walters came over and hugged me when I first walked out. Like, oh, we're friends now. Like, oh, the rift is over. And when she did that, I realized this is pure bullshit. She doesn't dislike the show. She wasn't offended. She's trying to get on the map. She's trying to make it into something. And also the Republican, I forget her name, on the other side, said something about this show has touched off a firestorm of controversy. We were on the air for like a week. It hadn't touched off anything. There was nothing. They were trying to, let's touch off this firestorm of controversy right now. So then I realized that it's all false. Nobody was really mad at me. And then I just explained the show to the audience. I knew they wanted me to come out and go, fuck you. That's what they wanted. That's why they sandbagged me, because they hoped I would misbehave. They thought I would come on and say, fuck you, you old bag. And she'd go, oh, my goodness. And it would be all over the place. But instead I came out and said, listen, I thank you for bringing up these concerns, because I don't want people to think the show's here to offend anyone. It's just honest. And I went through the points of the show and why it was important.